A Prohibition raid, a warehouse full of bottles labeled Kennedy's, a mobster's confession that refused to die. Was Joseph P. Kennedy, father of presidents, just a savvy investor, or the gangster some say built a dynasty on bootlegging blood money? Every case has a turning point. Ours is a warehouse full of illicit product brandishing a famous name. Then I'll be back to continue the investigation. (1927), Vancouver, Canada. On a warehouse roof, a gun crew sets up. Lewis machine guns, Thompson submachine guns, a naval cutter with a 6-pounder deck gun, tools of war aimed at a warehouse, of all places. A gun captain rotates the deck gun towards the wharf. In the warehouse, dim aisles of stacked crates, bottles glint in thin light. A lookout spots the HMCS Margaret through a window, cracks open the side door, lips ready to whistle. But the Margaret's siren beats it too. Boots crunch gravel, entry teams shoulder Thompsons, a hand signal splits the group. A runner bolts for the side door, a searchlight pins him. Overhead lights cut out, flashlight beams stab the aisles, a smuggler raises a bottle as a club, but officers tackle him before he can swing it. The bottle drops unbroken, the label clear as day, Kennedy's. Inside the warehouse, evidence piles high. Kennedy's Jazz cocktails are stacked to the rafters, each bottle stamped with fraudulent U.S. revenue seals, at a time where possession of alcohol in America would see you thrown under the jail. The manifest lists Daniel Joseph Kennedy, the business name Joseph Kennedy Limited. A customs chief holds a bottle to the light.
These stamps? Wrong ink, wrong paper. Amateur hour. Your boss made some stupid mistakes here.
No way! Mr. Kennedy don't make no stupid mistakes.
So you know him.
The smuggler clamps his jaw, but the cat is out of the bag. 82-year-old notorious mobster Frank Costello sits comfy in his Manhattan apartment. His guest, Peter Moss, the journalist who immortalized mobster Joe Valachi's confessions. Now Costello offers a bootlegger's expose spanning half a century. A tape recorder spins on the coffee table.
We moved the same liquor, same roots. It was a beautiful operation. My partner, he got scared. Wouldn't let nobody see his hands dirty. Always hid behind them clean names, you know?
Who? Joe Kennedy?
Who do you think?
Costello studies him, eyes still sharp, mouth forming a smirk. Costello has no deals left to cut. His legacy as mob royalty is fixed in FBI files that will outlive him. What remains is the story he tells. And that's what this investigation is about. Legacy. One the Kennedys, family of presidents and American royalty, can never escape. For years, questions dogged them. Allegations from mobsters who said they were there. That family patriarch Joseph P. Kennedy moved product just like they did. So we have to ask, did Joseph P. Kennedy make his fortune bootlegging, as the mobsters say he did? Was the Kennedy presidency built on Prohibition blood? Those are the questions we'll tackle on this episode of Riko's Symposium. Ciao, Symposians, and welcome to the Symposium. I'll be your host, video journalist Riko Robinson. Today's investigation, case number 002. Did the Kennedys make their fortune bootlegging during Prohibition? Were the Kennedys a family of gangsters? This is a question that's been floating around for years, even before Jack Kennedy became president. Here at the Symposium, we bring you the truth, as it's documented in the archives and beyond, but we do use dramatizations for cinematic purposes, like the biopics at the movies. We use them to dramatize actual historical events, but also to explore the plausible gaps in the historical record, the historically plausible what-ifs, so to speak. So when our director Francis does this with the aspect ratio, and this appears in the corner, that's your disclosure. At the end of the investigation, we'll circle back and discuss what's true, what's speculation, or what's something else entirely, so stick around for that. Now, back to our investigation. Two immigrant sons begin their American education the way many immigrant families did. Joseph Patrick Kennedy, father of President John F. Kennedy, was born September 6, 1888 in East Boston. Grandson of Irish refugees who fled the Great Famine only to face Irish need not apply signs in Boston's windows. Francesco Castiglia was born January 26, 1891 in Calabria, Italy, a stunning place even if quite rough around the edges for the time. Now his family fled earthquakes, famine, and corruption for a better life in the States. Kennedy's father, Patrick Joseph Kennedy, appears in Boston directories as a saloon keeper, a ward boss, and a liquor importer. A man of many hats, P.J. Kennedy served in the Massachusetts House of Representatives from 1884 to 1889 and the Massachusetts Senate from 1889 to 1895. His East Boston saloon became the unofficial headquarters of local Democratic politics. Pipe smoke hangs heavy. P.J. works the bar. 7-year-old Joe Kennedy lounges on a crate, multitasking, reading the business section of a newspaper big enough for him to use as a quilt while his eyes drink up every exchange.
The usual, PJ.
Young Joseph's eyes catch the extra bills sliding across the bar.
Hey, tell Sullivan the permits are arranged.
Little Joe Kennedy listened and learned. In our research, Francesco Castiglia's documentation begins with the 1900 census. The father is eventually gone. Mom, Maria Castiglia, is head of the household in their East Harlem tenement with 6 kids under the roof. Judas Priest, man, what is with these pre-internet people reproducing like a mogwai being waterboarded? Did nobody pull out back then? 6, by herself. There's no way this poor woman didn't dream of selling the bastards for groceries, beer money, and a cocaine prescription. No business directories list her, no anecdotes of political appointments or backroom dealings, just police blotters that later describe her son's education in American capitalism. The shelves are sparse, and a stack of IOUs looms on the counter. 9-year-old Francesco watches his father, Luigi, get played yet again.
I'll pay you back next Friday, Castiglia. I swear to me mama.
Luigi writes it down, shoulders slumped as he adds it to the pile. That night, coins scrape across the kitchen table as little Francesco listens to his parents arguing through the paper-thin walls.
Where is your pride? Your dignity? How are we to feed the children if you keep giving it all away?
Francesco hears the neighborhood boys return from their runs. He can almost hear the coins jingle in their pockets, money from running numbers. Not promises on paper of debts that'll never be collected. Real, actual money. Joe Kennedy grows up, and between 1920 and 1925, his financial records go notably quiet. The man who saved every receipt, who later donated 51 boxes of papers to Harvard Business School, produces, let's just say, fascinatingly less during the years of Prohibition. To the uninitiated, Prohibition was when America made alcohol illegal in 1919. Creating a black market that we'll definitely cover in future investigations. I'm already researching one episode about Rum Row, which was the floating liquor market off the coast of Long Island in international waters. Really, really cool stuff. In 1919, Kennedy resigns from Bethlehem Shipbuilding. In 1926, he purchases silent movie studio Film Booking Offices of America. In between the two ventures, he claims extensive travel and private investments. Kennedy graduated class of 1912 at Harvard. He learned Irish Catholics stood at the bottom of Boston Brahmin society. By 1922, Kennedy understood that acceptance required more than money. It required showing that he had the ingenuity to get shit done. Boston Harbor, 1922. A speedboat cuts through the water, lights out. 3 men moving crates labeled Canadian export, agricultural supplies. A low rumble approaches. The speedboat crew panics. They can't see through the darkened fog. Their hearts leap as a searchlight bursts out of the darkness.
Coast Guard, cut your engines.
Uniformed men board, investigate the speedboat's cargo, and crack open a crate. Bottles of golden liquid, all of it contraband.
Whew, premium stuff, boys.
The speedboat's crew looks like they're about to shit bricks.
Good thing Kennedy promised us 2 cases for our trouble.
The Coast Guard crew bursts into laughter. Relieved, the speedboat crew joins in. Kennedy waits in evening wear among Harvard classmates. All gaze out into the fog. Kennedy flashes a lantern once, twice, 3 times. Nothing. He tries again, to no avail.
I swear, Kennedy, if you've ruined this reunion by pulling our legs...
Finally, 3 flashes answer through the mist.
Guess I should never second-guess an Irishman when it comes to hooch.
He slaps Kennedy's back. Kennedy's jaw tightens, but the smile holds. The speedboat materializes and cuts his engines at the dock. Harvard grads unload crates. Kennedy inspects a label.
Glenlivet, 1922. Fresh from the distillery.
22? How contemporary. But it'll do.
Kennedy keeps smiling, calculating just how much humiliation he'd have to endure for access. A rum runner pulls him aside.
Hey, you Kennedy?
I am.
Frank Costello likes the cut of your jib and planning out this little operation. Says you ought to have dinner sometime. Talk shop.
Kennedy merely nods. Meanwhile, Francesco Castiglia's path to prominence began where Kennedy's fathers had, numbers, collections, and street corners. By 1920, Castiglia was running betting parlors from 104th Street to 116th Street. Somewhere around then is where Francesco Castiglia becomes Frank Costello. Prohibition bootlegging tended to create its own evidence trail. We're talking ships manifests, warehouse receipts, railroad bills, or just loose-ass lips. We found a ton of this stuff. Kennedy's trail wasn't so obvious. Sure, there are peculiarities. When he was president of Columbia Trust Bank, it held over 50 barrels of whiskey and rum in warehouses across Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Illinois during Prohibition. But the barrels were legally purchased from Papa P.J. Kennedy's liquor business before it closed, and were conveniently ready for medicinal sale. And well, I could not resist. I had to meet the guy. So we thought we'd let the legendary president himself explain what his Papa Joe got up to. Welcome to the 21st century, President John F. Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Woo! What a timeline you got here. I am jealous. Thank you, darling. I'll be serving you a little something once these cameras stop rolling, if you know what I mean. I'll be parking the car in Harvard Yard if you follow. Ooh, just don't make it weird after. I'm a happily married man.
What is happening right now?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Let me ask you something. What's this I'm hearing about the Pats? They're calling them the New England Patriots now? The fuck is up with that, my dude? Real inclusive. Taking him away from Beantown like that. Sounds like some pussy commie nonsense if I'm being real with you, Mr. Riko. Wicked uncool, bro.
I don't know. I don't watch sports.
Listen to this guy. You don't watch sports? I knew there was something frou-frou about him. He got that aura about him. You know what I mean, dollface? Anyway, back to my dad. This topic is such a mood killer, Mr. Riko. Can we talk about something else?
Oh God, can we just get on with it? Wait. What am I looking at right now?
What's the problem, guy?
This is not the background we programmed for you in the Hollow. You're supposed to be in the Oval Office.
Yeah, I thought the place could use some jazzing up. I modeled it after some secret improvements we got going on at the White House. The boys are calling them the Kennedy sex tunnels. But that's a little pedestrian, if you get the cut of my jib.
I don't.
Unsurprising. Anyway, I made you Hollow, queer name by the way, more bespoke to a gentleman's tastes.
Firstly, homophobic. Leave it in the 20th century. Secondly, how did you fucking do this? We plucked you from 1962. Do you even know how to do a Google search?
Well, your director Francis showed me some of the swell interweb porn you guys got.
Internet, and that's surprisingly on brand. Francis.
It's wicked good stuff, bro. The bazoongas on some of these broads. Ho ho ho!
What does this have to do with how you managed to reprogram my goddamn Hollow Kennedy?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Bro, I was a network engineer. My first Cisco certification exam is the first exam I can remember studying for and failing. It took me 2 friggin' tries, and you're telling me that you, a savage from the time before fax machines, figured out how to reprogram my goddamn Hollow in days, purely through the power of erectile impetus, for reasons.
Look around, guy. Plenty of reasons. I think I found my new home. Ain't that right, you precious thing, you? You want to ride the motorboat? Yeah, you want to ride the motorboat. Welcome aboard the USS Bone Throne. Name subject to change. Captain Johnny K. at your service.
Judas Priest, man, unethical, even if they are constructs. Do you want Jeffrey Epstein shenanigans? Because this is how you get Jeffrey Epstein shenanigans.
Who's this Epstein guy? He's some kind of Jew or something?
This f***ing guy. I am going to give you the benefit of the doubt by assuming you're not a raging anti-Semite and chalking that up to the Overton window shifting after your dramatic exit.
Anti-Semite? Me? You think I would turn down this sexy little thing here if she was a member of the tribe? No, sir. Look at my civil rights record, guy. I'd be the first one signing up for a little game of spin the dreidel. This pecker knows no hate, ba-boom! What would the world do without me, right?
Okay, Okay, enough. Shut it down. Security, you're on standby. I am not letting another S-tier sex pest escape into the 21st century. They're already running the world, and I'm not contributing further to it.
Come on, you're no fun guy. You gotta liven up before you become a bitter old man.
Yeah, well, you'll never know what that's like.
Wait, what?
What?
You heard me.
My bad to my Jewish viewers and women and anybody with a sense of common decency. The guy had the entirety of human knowledge at his fingertips for the first time in his life, and he used it to perv out on Pornhub. So I guess he fit right in the 21st century. I think the time machine radiation is cooking their brains and enhancing their most unhinged traits. We're looking into it, I swear. In 1925, Boston's Quincy Cold Storage warehouse on the harbor provided the bank with another 800 barrels. Barrels that Kennedy's own in-law later admitted in a 1933 letter had, quote, been smuggled into Boston. In 1929, Kennedy also secured federal permits for transport of liquor for personal medicinal use. 4 cases of sherry, that is. By the end of Prohibition in 1933, he had warehouses full of the stuff. The timing, the location, and the paper trail are a bit bootleggy if you ask me, but it remained completely legal. Costello's trail, on the other hand, was more conspicuous. Coast Guard intercepted reports placed him on Rum Row. That's the floating black marketplace in international waters 12 miles off the coast of Long Island. We spoke about it earlier. NYPD surveillance tracks him from Brooklyn warehouses to Manhattan speakeasies. His name surfaces in seized manifests and tax cases. Such exposure meant Costello had to rely on other means to skirt justice. Between 1926 and 1929, both Kennedy and Costello experienced explosions of wealth that reshaped their families' futures. Kennedy's initial investment in film booking offices was around $30,000. 3 years later, sale price $5 million, approximately $95 million in today's money, and what am I doing with my life? His trading account shows prescient timing. In 1927, he buys the Riverdale mansion, enrolls the kids in prep school, and Harvard records track rising family donations. Costello's rise was a little more gangstery. His slot machine empire owns New York, and he's looking into expansion beyond the Big Apple. NYPD estimates 600,000 annually, roughly 11 million in today's money, and what am I doing with my life? Seriously, Dad, forgive me, but I'm considering Breaking Bad. But Costello's gangster image ate at him. Judas Priest, man, wouldn't eat at me. After just 1 year, I'd move to Thailand, find me a tattooed emo Thai wife, and you bastards would never see my black ass again, just saying. Police notes say Costello stopped carrying a gun around 1915, after watching an associate bleed out. Gentlemen don't need guns, is apparently what he told his other associates. He dressed in tailored suits, spoke softly, and mediated mob disputes like Judge Judy meets The Sopranos. But respectability required more than a sick wardrobe. Associates like Meyer Lansky and Lucky Luciano ensured that he was always associated with violence. And they needed Costello's mediation skills. They didn't exactly have the law to depend on to settle their gentlemen's disputes. Another of Costello's associates was Oni Madden. He used jazz to launder illicit profits. He bought Harlem's Cotton Club from Jack Johnson, the first black world heavyweight boxing champion in 1922, and turned it into a speakeasy hub for beer smuggling. Duke Ellington played 120-minute sets there, broadcast nationwide via radio. But backstage, trucks came at 3 a.m. The threat of violence created order, and the inventory flowed. According to The Vapors by David Hill and Frank Costello by DeStefano, Madden and Costello co-managed many alcohol distribution networks just like this. While Costello styled himself the peaceful diplomat of the underworld, Madden's violence made that fiction, well, fictional. The blood still flowed just as much as the liquor did. Costello just kept it off his cuffs. Ain't that right, Oni?
Smells like gin, reefer, and ethically problematic sex in here.
Yeah, sorry, Kennedy was...
Joe Kennedy was here?
No, Oni, a different Never mind, just go.
All right, hold your horses already, Jesus. What were we talking about?
Frank Costello.
Oh, right. Frank, he liked to pretend he was clean. Never carried a piece. Always had a judge at his beck and call. Well, la-dee-da. Let me tell you something. You don't run whiskey through Harlem in 28 without some bloke taking a punch, or worse. And since it wasn't him, it was wise guys like yours truly. That was the gig. He smiled for the papers. I cracked the skulls. Frank wanted to be the sensation, fancy and legit. I was the guy in the back room. Worked fine for me, so long as nobody asked about the bruises or the bodies.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. I think we'll get you back to your time shortly.
You got it, mate.
May 13th.
Hey, nice place you got here. Look at all this fancy stuff. Be a shame if someone were to relieve you of it.
What?
What?
He gone.
What? Oh, God damn it, not another one. OSHA is gonna kick our asses, Francis. I'll just file this away in my never-ending pile of shit to take care of later. No matter how hard Frankie Boy tried to whitewash his image, he couldn't escape the public's, frankly, accurate perception of him. At the President Hotel in Atlantic City between May 13th and May 16th of 1929, gangster royalty held the first national conference of organized crime, the Comic-Con of mob shenanigans. The attendee list reads like the Fortune 500 of the underworld: Charles Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Al Capone, et al. An encyclopedic list of shady mofos, most of whom will get their own investigation on this show at some point. I am currently researching an episode on whether or not the government recruited Lucky Luciano to guard New York docks against Nazi infiltration. It was called Operation Underworld, and it's really interesting stuff. Anyhow, presiding over it all, the diplomat himself, Mr. Frank Costello. Over 50 mob bosses divided territory, established protocols, and transformed murder into merger and acquisition. You best believe this was high profile. FBI agents in pressed suits, local police with box cameras, the Atlantic City press printing daily updates. Nucky Johnson, gangster king of Atlantic City, hosted the event and ate the attention up. The desk clerk's hands shake.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but we don't allow liquor in the hotel. It's the law.
Al Capone's fist slams the marble counter.
You got a problem with my money?
No, sir, just
what?
The clerk can smell bourbon on Capone's breath and see the bulge under his coat. Frank Costello steps in, smooth as silk.
Al, let me handle this.
This punk thinks he's better than us. My money not green enough?
Gangsters stand off to the side next to the crates of fine booze. Lucky Luciano watches, chuckling. Then the doors swing open. Nucky Johnson walks in like he owns the place, because he does.
Is there a problem here, gentlemen?
Mr. Johnson, these men
are my personal guests.
Of course, Mr. Johnson.
The clerk slides the keys across. Capone snatches them, still seething. He grabs a bottle and flings it at the clerk, who barely catches it.
For the missus. She don't know how close she came to widowhood.
This f***ing guy.
Appreciate the assist.
I scratch your back. You'll scratch mine in return, I'm sure. In the meantime, faccia come se fosse casa sua. I get that right?
Yeah, Nucky. That was pretty good.
This convention cemented Costello's influence, especially since his mentor Arnold Rothstein had been gunned down 6 months earlier. He inherited Rothstein's political contacts as well as other things. But Joseph B. Kennedy's rise was more, I guess you can say, low-key. Fall, 1932. Franklin Roosevelt's campaign train. Columbia professors eye Kennedy with suspicion. Kennedy is almost in, almost a member of a soon-to-be president's inner circle. He can taste it already.
Mr. Kennedy, you backed Hoover in 28. Why should we trust you now?
Hoover had no vision, or the wrong vision. The difference is moot. I see that now. Still, my record stands. But haven't you had enough of business, gentlemen? Can we not discuss a little liquid capital?
He opens a leather case with a salesman's flair. Bottles gleam in the lamplight.
Professor Tugwell, Chateau de Cam, 1921. Mr. Burl, Hennessy Paradise. Ray, Macallan, 1926.
The professors exchange weary but amused looks. Moley reaches first.
You're a real piece of work, Kennedy. I like it. To liquid solutions.
The glasses rise. The end of Prohibition arrives with the certainty of a post-tequila hangover. The constitutional amendment dying by the same process that birthed it. After 13 years, America was ditching Prohibition. We're currently researching an episode on the 1920s Christmas poisonings in New York City, which happened because of Prohibition bootlegging. Kennedy's Somerset Importers, incorporated before repeal even became law. Warehouse leases in Boston, Baltimore, and New York were signed before the amendment was even ratified. British distillery contracts were negotiated through intermediaries, and on December 5th, 1933, when repeal finally takes effect, Somerset's trucks were locked, loaded, and ready to go. Joey P. even personally made his way to the UK to lock down deals with President Roosevelt's son, James, in tow. For Costello, the change hit differently. Legal liquor ended his profits in what must have felt like overnight. But America's appetite for gambling allowed him to stay afloat. One thing gangsters are good at, it's diversifying their portfolios. Although not without obstacles. In 1934, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia of eponymous airport in Queens fame wages war on gambling, specifically slot machines. A mountain of slot machines. New York City's Mayor LaGuardia stands with a hammer raised.
These one-armed bandits have stolen their last nickel from honest New Yorkers.
LaGuardia grins, planting a foot on twisted metal.
Let Mr. Costello and his rapacious ilk know their day is done in our city.
From the crowd, Costello watches, jaw tight, smile forced. He pulls an aide aside, words low.
Get Huey Long on the phone. Tonight. Tell him I am ready to discuss Louisiana. Permanent arrangements.
Costello seethes as LaGuardia hams it up and summons the pile of slot machines like Sir Edmund Hillary. The end of Prohibition meant Kennedy got the life that Costello always wanted, while Costello turned to men like Huey Long, corrupt Louisiana governor and dictator in a tailored suit, to stay afloat. And as you might have guessed, we'll probably be doing an episode on Huey Long and his epic corruption sometime in the future. Meanwhile, Joseph P. Kennedy is eyeing beachfront property on Easy Street, determined to cement his power and make his name a legend that outlives him. June 6, 1934. President Roosevelt's first appointment to chair the SEC stuns Wall Street. I'll give you one guess.
Frank Costello?
No, they didn't pick a known gangster to chair the SEC, Francis. It was 1934, not 2026. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt appoints Joseph P. Kennedy, a man who gamed the system through market manipulation like it was counterfeit Pokemon cards. Kennedy knew what he was doing, and that's precisely why he was the man for the job. FDR would say that he, quote, set a thief to catch a thief. July 1934. SEC headquarters. The bullpen buzzes with discontent. Career investigators forced to accept a fox as hen-house supervisor. They fall silent as Kennedy emerges from his corner office, manila folder in hand.
Your amalgamated copper case.
He drops the file on the nearest desk.
Solved.
Lead investigator Harold Brennan flips it open. 20 minutes ago, this case was impenetrable. Now Kennedy's penciled notes map the entire fraud.
Over-invoiced shipments through Canadian subsidiaries.
He points.
Plastic bridge operation. Real copper, fake prices. The spread goes to numbered accounts.
Brennan studies the annotations.
How did you...
And here.
He flips pages rapidly.
Specialist firms coordinating the squeeze. See the timing? Like a rigged horse race. Same patterns as 1929.
The room falls still. These men spent months missing what Kennedy spotted in minutes.
How the hell did you figure this out so quickly?
Kennedy gives a subtle smirk, barely visible.
It's logical. It's what a smart man would do, if so inclined.
He straightens his tie, then exits, leaving his investigators awestruck. 1936. Joseph P. Kennedy hires Thurston & Associates, Boston's top archival firm, to catalog his papers. Harvard still has the invoice collection, 312 billable hours, and instruction. A year later, Kennedy drops a $500,000 donation on Harvard. Soon after his business papers arrive, processing notes flag significant gaps between 1920 and 1932. Donor-aware, secondary materials provided. That same year, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, an Avengers-level threat that we'll explore on so many investigations because his name just keeps popping up. Hoover issues Internal Memorandum 37-11, Permanent Retention Policy for Organized Crime Figures. Frank Costello's name lands third. Every scrap, logs, phone taps, restaurant checks, stamped with the likes of permanent retention, no destruction. Researchers can read what Costello ordered at Rouse in 1952, but can barely tell you how much of certain business enterprises Kennedy even owns. But it was one bit of surveillance in particular that had Costello dead to rights. The Minifon wire recorder, introduced in 1946, captured 8 hours on a single wire spool. FBI budget allocations show $2.3 million, roughly $38 million today, for technical surveillance equipment just that year. Frank Costello's FBI file contains 1,247 transcript pages from 1946 to 1950. The most notorious pages come from March 23, 1947, a wiretapped phone conversation with New York Supreme Court Justice nominee Thomas Aurelio. The FBI transcription, later leaked to the press, blew the hell up in both men's faces, though more so in Costello's. The following dialogue is re-recorded verbatim straight from the FBI's archives.
Good morning, Francesco. How are you? And thanks for everything.
Congratulations. It went over perfect. When I tell you something is in the bag, you can rest assured.
He balances the phone between shoulder and ear, talking corruption with the casual tone of a man discussing his grocery list.
It was perfect. It was fine.
A young agent scribbles frantically. 8:36 a.m., Aurelio confirms arrangement.
We'll all have to get together. You, your missus, Joe, and myself. Dinner real soon.
That would be fine. But right now, I want to assure you of my loyalty for all you have done. It's undying.
I know. I'll see you soon.
The tech was state-of-the-art. Phone calls used to be a safe space. As a network engineer, it's so goddamn hard for me to imagine phone calls being the height of security. Strange times. And unfortunately for Frank Costello, he hadn't yet learned that those strange times were over. On March 14th, 1951, the Special Committee to Investigate Organized Crime and Interstate Commerce, Judas Priest, that's a mouthful, convenes in a New York federal courthouse. Chairman Estes Kefauver presides. 30 million Americans watch on television like it's the Super Bowl, and Frank Costello is the reluctant star of the show. The committee's purpose? Investigate organized crime digging into legitimate political processes, and it wasn't shy about revisiting Prohibition. Hundreds of names were investigated. Joseph P. Kennedy's name appears nowhere in the files, despite Somerset and Porter's suspicious timing before repeal, and other peculiarities that at least warranted questions. Before the committee takes place, Costello's attorney argues that televising his client's face poisons the well and implies guilt. The compromise? Cameras will only show Costello's hands. This does not go as intended for Frankie Boy. Television cameras focus on Costello's manicured hands. No one knew at the time, but this image would become iconic.
State your name for the record.
Frank Costello.
The hands tense. The show begins, and across hours of grueling testimony, Costello's nervous mitts do nothing but broadcast guilt.
Mr. Costello, your relationship with Meyer Lansky.
The right hand forms a fist, releases.
What is your net worth?
I refuse to answer that question.
Do you owe any sums of money in excess of $10,000 to any person?
I decline to answer that.
Do you have any cash monies in excess of $10,000 anywhere else?
I am not going to answer that question.
You were convicted of possession of a revolver?
That's right. Yes, sir.
You refuse to answer further?
Absolutely.
Senator Kefauver goes through the list. Luciano, Lansky, Adonis. Dozens of names become infamous, if they weren't already, but certain names remain completely unasked about. The hearings continue for days. Costello pleads the Fifth Amendment. That's the constitutional right to not incriminate oneself for all you non-Americans out there. Again and again, his hands performing an unconscious ballet of anxiety under hot television lights. America watches, mesmerized. By the end, Costello is sentenced to serve 18 months for contempt of Senate. Released in 1952, he returns to a New York that no longer wants him. The television exposure made him too visible and too vulnerable, and that's a bigger problem than Costello anticipates. Yup. May 2nd, 1957. Costello arrives at his apartment building at 115 Central Park West at around 11 p.m. He enters the lobby where Vincent the Chen Gigante approaches and shouts,
"This one's for you, Frank!"
and fires a shot into Costello's head at point-blank range. Blood splatters on marble. The gangster stumbles, hands to his head, and shouts,
"Someone tried to get me!"
Because I guess that's how old-timey gangsters really talk for some reason, which is unexpectedly hilarious. "Somebody tried to get me, say!" Forgive the schadenfreude, but that's just hilarious to me.
Someone call an ambulance!
The bullet meant for his brain found only scalp. The police press for a name, but Costello plays dumb, refusing to identify the shooter. "I was looking at the sky" is literally what he told the cops. Shot in the head and he still refused to snitch. He could never do what Kennedy did. Kennedy thrived because he made sure that his name was only attached to what was above board when it came to his financial shenanigans, and perhaps even more. Costello's attempts to appear a gentleman instead of the gangster that he was led to exposure anyway, and exposure was bad for his line of work. July 13th, 1960. At the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, John F. Kennedy accepts the Democratic nomination before 80,000 people. We were going to do another talking head segment with him here, but you saw how that first one worked out. We have his crazy ass locked up in the Panopticon until we can send him back. His father watches the nomination from the Biltmore Hotel's presidential suite, surrounded by family and operatives. Champagne bubbles rise as JFK's image fills the screen. Joseph Kennedy glows with paternal triumph, the validation of a lifetime of calculated moves.
Delivery for a Mr. Joseph P. Kennedy?
We didn't order anything.
Leave it, thank you.
Bobby pries open the crate. Inside, bottles of Glenlivet, vintage 1922. Joseph's stoicism cracks for a millisecond.
Hey, you Kennedy?
I am.
Frank Costello likes the cut of your jib and planning out this little operation. Says you ought to have dinner sometime. Talk shop.
Joe? Who's it from?
No one important.
Bobby retrieves it, and spidery handwriting reads,
Congratulations on your boy. Some stains wash out, I suppose. FC.
Should we be concerned?
It's just some deluded old fool, nothing more.
He raises his glass towards the television.
To Jack! Now this is a legacy to be proud of.
February 1973. Frank Costello, now 82 years old, sits in his Manhattan apartment under informal FBI surveillance. No longer New York's kingpin, it's just periodic check-ins on an aging relic from a bygone era. We're back to his meeting with would-be biographer Peter Moss. Both men know this will be among Costello's final interviews. Here, Costello spills his guts about Joseph P. Kennedy's supposed Prohibition bootlegging ties. Other mobsters, Joseph Bonanno in his biography called A Man of Honor, Doc Stacher to Israeli journalist, echo similar claims. But corroboration among criminals creates its own problem. Men like these often cared more about mythologizing their reputations than they did the truth.
You wanted to know about the bootlegging days. Everyone wants to know about Capone, Luciano. Small potatoes compared to the guy you really want to hear about.
Do tell.
We moved the same liquor, same roots. It was a beautiful operation. My partner, he got scared. Wouldn't let nobody see his hands dirty. Always hid behind them clean names, you know?
Who? Joe Kennedy?
Who do you think?
Costello studies him, eyes still sharp, mouth forming a smirk.
I can't operate on guesswork, Mr. Costello.
Hold your horses.
He pours himself a scotch. Glenlivet, vintage 1922.
Glenlivet, 1922. Fresh from the distillery.
You want one?
No, thank you.
Don't tell my doctor. I got one foot in the grave already. Might as well enjoy what little time I got. Where were we?
Joseph P. Kennedy.
Right. He had the boats, the connections upstairs. I had the distribution down here. Red Hook, Pier 44, the works.
Can you prove any of this?
The old man's face hardens. A bitter laugh turns into a cough. He lights a cigarette anyway.
Prove, he says. He was a Kennedy. Hell, he was the Kennedy. Smart. Burned every receipt. Who are you gonna believe? Kennedy did what I never could. Went straight and torched every bridge behind him.
He takes a drag off the cigarette, gaze drifting to the skyline out the window. The tape reel keeps turning. But what were they recording? Truth or grand fiction? History or the last attempt of a fading mobster to revamp his legacy, even if built on smoke? Summer 1927, Vancouver, Canada. Well-dressed Americans toast with cocktails that would have sent them to the big house back in the States. The place is bathed in a tsunami of whiskey.
Nobody move! Vancouver police!
Officers, this is Canada. Nothing illegal here.
Yeah, well, you're still under arrest.
On what charges?
Tax evasion, customs fraud, smuggling. Take your pick, wise guy.
The man stays calm until inspectors spread the evidence. Forged U.S. stamps, manifest bound for Boston, shady export paperwork, enough evidence to bury him.
These stamps? Fake. Your shipments? Thousands of cases a month.
I run a legitimate business. If Americans smuggle...
Do you take us for fools? These Boston addresses match bootlegging fronts.
I want a lawyer.
Very well. Daniel Joseph Kennedy, you are charged with violations of the Customs Act, tax evasion, and conspiracy.
Daniel Joseph Kennedy was a Nebraska-born Vancouver entrepreneur, maker of Kennedy's Jazz cocktails. Vancouver police records confirm a 1927 probe into forged U.S. stamps and tax evasion. Yeah, not quite what you were expecting, was it? Bear with me a little bit longer. We're almost there. On December 19, 1961, Joseph P. Kennedy suffers a massive stroke, leaving him paralyzed and unable to speak. He lingers 8 years, trapped in his body, forced to witness tragedy after tragedy. On November 22, 1963, his son, President John F. Kennedy, his boy Jack, is killed in Dallas. On June 6, 1968, his son Robert is shot and killed in Los Angeles. The Patriarch, mute in his wheelchair, outlives the dreams his efforts made possible. He dies November 18, 1969. Frank Costello dies February 18, 1973. His funeral at Madonna Cemetery in Queens draws a modest crowd. His legacy survives in 4,127 pages of surveillance files, cataloged in government basements. But the question still remains, were these men associates? Two archives preserve two men. Harvard University's Marble Halls frame Joseph P. Kennedy as financier, diplomat, patriarch, and legend. Costello's files rest in a steel cabinet at the National Archives, stamped Francesco Castiglia, alias Frank Costello, organized crime figure. But what should the record say? Costello's file tells the truth. He was a gangster, and refusing to carry a gun doesn't erase that. But what about Kennedy? Did Prohibition money seed the dynasty? Were the Kennedys gangster royalty? Plausible. But that word is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. The shady business practices, sparse records from Prohibition, gangsters leaking them to Costello. It piles up. And yet, nothing resembling a smoking gun. Not even close. The Daniel Joseph Kennedy bust? Definitely unrelated. So based on the evidence, I'm not convinced that Joseph P. Kennedy was a Prohibition bootlegger. For clarity, we kept Kennedy's bootlegging vague, but that's because the record's vague. Yeah, rumors say he arranged liquor for his Harvard reunion, but the Glenlivet 1922 bit was a bit of biopic-type inference on our part, a little bit of poetic license. Also, we cut some content from this episode since it came in rather long. Future episodes after these first few will be shorter still. Anyhow, some of that content revolved around rumors of Joe Kennedy's anger at Bobby Kennedy for his role in the Kefauver Committee. Bobby was a senator at the time. As far as we can tell, that's true. Maybe it was fatherly concern. You don't want to piss off the mob after all. But maybe it was something more, although I wouldn't bank on it. Not until there's some evidence that justifies suspicion. That isn't to say I couldn't be convinced of Joe Kennedy's bootlegging bona fides. If new evidence surfaced, I'd listen. I wouldn't even be all that surprised. But for now, the record stands. At this time, there really is no reason to conclude that Joseph P. Kennedy got up to anything shadier than his extremely questionable financial wizardry. And with that, case number 002 is closed, but not forgotten. Alright, Symposians, thanks for tuning in to Investigation 002 of Riko's Symposium. If you like this episode, please like and bell that ring so you don't miss the next drop. I know it's annoying to be asked, but we're a new channel and we're hoping to grow so we can bring you more investigations like this one in the future. And if this got your wheels turning, hop into the comments, tell us what we got wrong, tell us what we got right, respectfully, please. I've been Riko Robinson, thanks for watching, thanks for thinking, and I'll see you on the next investigation.
All right, boys and girls, hands in the air. This is a stick-up.
This huffing guy. Where the hell did you get a Tommy gun, Oni?
Never mind that. Anybody moves and they're getting a lead sandwich. Now put the money in the bag.
That does not answer my question. Like, this is America? Fine, you got a gun. But an old-timey automatic machine gun. Frankly, I'm more curious than afraid.
Quit distracting me and put the goddamn money in the bag.
Dude, we should not be fucking around with time travel anymore, Francis.
What the hell are these little cards?
Credit cards, debit cards.
Where's the money?
Nobody carries cash anymore, Oni. That's old people shit.
How do you buy things?
With those cards, but they won't work back in your time. You need the internet. How the hell are you able to get a damn Tommy gun, but you don't know what a credit card is?
Internet? I look like a fisherman to you, mate. You trying to pull one over on me, my Negro friend?
Whoa, that is racist.
How'd you figure? Me mates at the Cotton Club call themselves that all the time.
We don't use that word like that anymore, Oni. The Overton window shifted on that shit in like the 70s.
Who the hell is Overton? I swear, I don't understand this stupid timeline of yours. Get me back to the Great Depression, where things made sense.
But where the fuck did you get a Tommy gun, though?